Welcome to season 11 of Low Bow Spark. Today we have Christophe, who is outstanding. And thank you very much for doing the video on my channel, that Friendly Fire episode. That was really, really cool. So go check that out. Well, Christophe, welcome. All we do is talk about our journey with ADHD on this podcast. I ask one question. What is your ADHD journey? You can tell any story you want to tell.
All right. So
it's a loaded question, I know, but it's
well, it started back when I was a little child. Actually, it did actually technically. But I think I will start from the realization I had it, basically, because that's quite a recent thing. I am nearly 40 and something. And I've only really realized I had ADHD about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago-ish. And that was simply because my wife got diagnosed with ADHD and autism. Again, she's a late diagnosed one as well. She's 50 now. And that was because my stepson, who's 15, got diagnosed with autism because he had major issues at school, meltdown and everything. So we say, yeah, something's going on here.
Can I thank you for that? Can I interject and thank you for helping the stepson get the diagnosis and whatnot, because that is my biggest advantage is I was diagnosed young. So I've had all this time to figure out medication, no medication. You know, it's been such a blessing. And almost everyone I speak with is late diagnosed. So just thank you for helping.
But the thing is, we had no choice, because I think it was to a point, wasn't going to many details, but he had meltdowns, basically, struggling at school. So we had to do something about it. And that's the main thing, because I don't want to talk too much about him, because maybe he doesn't want to be talked about.
Right. I got you.
To respect privacy. But the one thing I'm sure you won't mind me saying is that it made a major difference in his mental health once he understood, I'm not going crazy, I'm not going mad, I'm just different.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're different.
Exactly.
That's it.
And again, and that's one big thing, whether it's ASD or ADHD, I've got an issue with a D in it, as a disorder side of it. Yes, you can look at it like that. And I know some people really struggle, and there's a lot of issues linked with both conditions. But it's not always necessarily a disorder. It's the way I view it, something I said in my video, it's more you got a different brain, you got a different neurotype. And like one comparison I use an awful lot is if you compare a Land Rover or a Ferrari, depending on where they are. Stick them both on the farm, the Ferrari will have a wheelbase deficit disorder, and it'll be stuck in the mud, and, excuse my French, it will be shit in the field.
Right.
They say, what am I doing? Can't do this thing.
Right.
Rubbish for shopping as well, and so can't do anything right. Stick the Land Rover on a racetrack.
Yeah.
We're in a society where everything is getting more and more standardized. Also, things start to change a little bit now.
Yeah.
There's a big standardization, ignoring the fact there's a significant minority who don't fit in that and struggling, and no, but everybody's telling you, just put up with it. Why don't just go through the discomfort and just get
that pisses me off.
That's not discomfort. It's a touch from people.
I want to go back to the Ferrari versus the Land Rover analogy, because I have a very similar one actually that I say all the time, which is Ferraris. I think we have a Ferrari brain, a brain for, you know, and what happens is, but Ferraris break kind of consistently, actually, but it takes a shit ton of time to get the parts needed. You can't just go to your local Ferrari dealership or whatever. So meanwhile, the people in the Honda are just cruising along, because I mean, a Honda is a reliable vehicle and it just always is going at the same pace. But once we get the parts for our particular Ferrari, we blow past the Honda.
Absolutely.
And then we break, and then we have to get the parts back, and then we, you know, but we're always gonna blow past mediocrity if we can accept this.
and that's one thing again in therapy, and I might talk a bit more about that later. Some people,
Right.
which I noticed, who are neurodivergent as well, and say, I wish I could be normal. And I said, no, son, that you don't want to be normal. And they're like, what? So no, be your wonderful self. And yes, you've got struggles. Yes, you have problems. You have issues. But there's also the other side of it as well. So it's not all bad. It's not all great, of course.
Right.
It's not. It's a superpower. Well, not always. Not for everybody.
No. Yeah.
But you once you understand what's going on, once you understand the cards you've been dealt with, it's so much easier.
Right.
Once you realize that you're playing a game on hard level instead of everybody else playing on easy.
Yeah, exactly.
On yourself, basically.
So, are you a licensed psychiatrist or whatnot? I think, or
I'm an hypnotherapist.
Hypnotherapist. Okay, that's what it is. Got it.
So yes, I just mind control people. Nah, I don't. I help people stuff, and but I will also maybe talk a bit later about the advantage of being ADHD with therapy as well, being a therapist.
Excellent.
But just to, I think, because we're just going on a tangent, typical.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
But let's try to go back to the main question. So yeah, so basically, so I got but I was reading all the questions on the list of self-assessment things that my wife had, and I was like, nah, that can't be me. I was kind of in denial of it, because it was saying stuff. Always on the go. I said, no, I'm not. And my wife said, yes, you're always fidgeting, you're always doing this, you're always doing that. I'm not running around like my brother used to, because my brother was hyperactive ADHD. I think I'm more like inattentive ADHD mainly. But I'm always doing things. I've got tons of things here. I've got stuff like that, got plastic things so I can play with that. I've got to fidget, basically.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So that's what I said, but I didn't realize that. Yeah, I sing as well, for example. Are you always forgetting things? Yeah, okay, I have to admit that one. And the one thing was for time blindness as well. I said, no, that can't be me. I'm always on time. I hate being late. And she said, yeah, but how many alarms do you have in the morning? I said, well, one to wake up, one to make sure I have to get up, and one I have to leave the house, and one which I'm already late. Yeah.
I mean, you were a minute early today. A minute early. That is fascinating.
Yeah, no, but I had notifications, because if not, I'd be half an hour late, and I hate that. And that part of the hating being late and trying to be on time and everything is about, as well as RSD. I don't want to be told off.
Right. Exactly.
I hate to being told to do anything for that matter anyway, full stop.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I hate criticism, but people watching this, if you get ADHD, you will all know, yes, everybody hates being told off, everybody has been criticized, but with ADHD, it's deeper than that.
It's so much more involved than normal people can possibly understand.
Yeah, and so basically, so all that stuff there going there. And I've foolishly, for many, many, many years, I always thought, I'm just maybe slightly weird, but mostly normal anyway, and all those kind of things. And yeah, the more I dug it, the more I realized, and starting to fall into place way, way, way more. Something like you said about being a Ferrari, I think it's also working in IT, so I'm an IT manager as well. And the boss come and tell me, okay, we have this problem, and I'm there. Okay, here's what you do. And the boss said, well, shall we discuss all the situations? No need.
No.
It's going to be dealt with. But what about this? No, it's okay. Well, because he sees there's a lot of different problems, and I said, no, it's one big thing with a few variables there, and they all fit in. Yeah. And it takes me 5 minutes, and then it takes me 3/4 of an hour to run through with everybody, and it's frustrating.
Isn't it? Having to explain why we can see the big picture so much clearer than any other types of people. Like basically in my job, when I have to go to a meeting, I literally say this meeting is going to last 30 minutes at most, but for the first 15 minutes we're going to talk about what we are going to do. In the second 15 minutes we're going to fucking do it. We are not going to just sit around and talk about where are you with this? Where are you with this? Okay, well, I'll get that done. Well, how about right the fuck now?
Yeah. Because if you don't do it right now, it's not gonna get done.
It's done. Yeah, forever. It is gone.
So that's a bit of stuff like that to fall into place. Also, as well, when I was trying to look more into meltdown stuff like that, one of the reason why I'm a therapist now is because about 10 years ago, nearly, I had a nervous breakdown. Everything was too much, and basically, panic attacks out of the blue. I should have saw it coming, but I didn't. I ignored the signs, like most people do. And I also had one at uni as well. Basically, just that's it. I can't deal with anything. And looking back, I just makes sense now. Now I realize what's going on. I'm quite lucky in the fact that I've coped with things quite well. I did cope with things well. If it's everyday stuff, I would have carried on perfectly fine, ignoring all of that. Right. Obviously, when a few things come together, then blew up more than it should have. And basically, looking back at all the situation, all the different things together, from the RSD, the stimulus, brain working differently, and the expectation and the pressure. Yeah. Now it's it makes sense. I should have seen it coming if I'd known my brain properly at the time, and I could have prevented it, or at least navigated it better at the time. But on the plus side, that led me to become a therapist. So that's a silver lining, and use that to learn my lessons and help other people.
Fascinating.
Because if I can get out of my general anxiety, if I can get out of all that way of thinking I had at the time, where basically it was doom and gloom and stuck in every possible way in my life, to now being few years after that, new relationship, almost about kind of new job, main job being accommodated for, and happily married after that and everything. So life just spinned around.
And you landed on your feet.
Oh yeah, I've landed on my feet. Yeah.
It's fascinating to me. I firmly believe, and this is not documented, there's no proof of this, I'm just going to say it. It's ADHD people, they do this thing where it's very, very difficult, very, very difficult. Then you succeed at some things, then you don't, whatnot. But you always end up great in the end. Because what happens is that your brain is setting this up the entire time. You don't really recognize it, but your brain is preparing to live out your dream.
Yeah.
Because we just go after what we want. That's it.
And the thing as well is we're also super good in crisis, super good when there's trouble.
Exactly.
I will be enraged at a printer not working, which is a trivial thing. Right. I think there's a whole joke that read against the machine, didn't specify which machine it was. Right. But it must have been a printer. Yeah. Basically. And in IT, I've been in there for 25 years, and it's always printers, always a pain in the backside. But
amazing.
If there's a big crisis, a big situation where the shit hits the fan, okay, I've got it. And that's a really interesting thing. And again, it's something which I've learned later on is typical of ADHD, because your brain is super stimulated. Oh, now I can work properly.
It is time once again to thank this podcast's biggest supporters. Without you... Okay, yeah. Trying to do two things at once here. Hey, Santa. Without you, this podcast does not exist. So thank you, Leo Guinan. Thank you, Kirk Hofstrom. Thank you, Casey Elliott. Thank you, Sarah Delano. Thank you, Justin Allingham. Thank you, Blushing Crafter. Thank you, Jamie Young. And thank you, Beth Jones. Without y'all, this podcast cannot exist. Yeah, exactly.
I don't need written. I don't need Adderall. I don't need like tons of other brands available.
All the brands available. So, Christophe, I got to tell you. So, you work in IT. Is that?
Yeah.
You're going to find this fascinating. I'll let you in on a little secret here. So, I work for college athletics, and I run the technology for every venue that we have for our home events. And I don't know shit about technology. And I hate printers and I don't like updates and I don't like okay. But what I did, I was smart in the fact that going, you know what? I love this team. I love this team. How can I work here? Hire people that are better than you at the things that you struggle with. Yeah. So that's it. So now I have a staff of people that know technology, and all I have to do is help them in life. That's my job.
Yeah.
Get them to where they want to be. And if people can't swallow their pride as a manager, whatever, and say, you know what, this person's better than me, then you're not a very good manager. You know, like
that's a difficult saying for a lot of people. Is they think I'm giving power. No. I think I could spend a lot of time learning that skill and trying to do it, or I could get someone to do it better than me, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Right.
For example, my boiler today was packed up. I called the local plumber. He came around, fixed it for me. Here's some money, and right. One, I'm not allowed to touch the boiler because gas and everything and regulation anyway. But then, why should I bother? Right. Or fixing cars. I know some people, they love tinkering with their cars and fixing it themselves. And my brother-in-law is like that. I don't have time for that.
I know. Right. Like that's that's the whole thing. It's the double-edged sword. I only sharpen one side of it, and that's the side that it's already sharp. If I try to sharpen the other side, it might get to a somewhat normal level, but I'm going to spend so much fucking time sharpening that dull blade when I can cut through a lot of other shit pretty quick.
Or what I've done for a long time is to do a lot of botched jobs, which, they'll do, but not great. Right. Because again, it's the old jack of all trade, master of none. Which actually is better than, I think the old quote is quite different. It's got a
I don't know what the old quote is, actually. I don't know what the old one is.
Hold on.
Let's Google it.
Because the thing is, Jack, let's find it. So sorry about that. Let's go find it.
Jack of all trades.
Master of none, I think is better than, hold on. Of all trade. Master of none, full quote. Yeah, Jack of all trades, master of none, though oftentimes better than master of one.
Yeah. Well, because you have different things to choose from. You have different things.
All varied.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
And I think as well, it's the funny thing as well, just seeing of that, I've got that kind of tattoo here, which is a Celtic thing, which allegedly, I won't guarantee it, is supposed to be the shield of Lu, Lugh, Irish demigod, who actually was supposed to be the master of all arts and war and everything. Basically, he could do everything. And I got that when I got my black belt because I decided to do a lot of different things. Yeah. So I like that. And later on, I realized, actually, that was the reason behind the way I picked it, because that fits me nicely.
Exactly. So going back to when did you get officially diagnosed, or was it self-diagnosis, or
Okay. I'm hoping to get diagnosed anytime between now and the next 5 years.
Okay.
Because in the UK, there is a
okay. Oh God.
Again, I'm not going to go in politics here.
But I get it. I've heard it.
But the thing is, I've managed to get on the waiting list because I think there were some organization, private one, which were working with the NHS, which is the health organization in the UK. So I managed to get with Psychiatry UK, which was privatized, but working with the public thing. And I should have a first assessment hopefully in the next few months. I was registered with them about 4 or 5 months ago, so not that long ago technically. But the funny thing was, I've filled in the form on the same day actually, with Psychiatry UK and with the NHS, so the official state-sponsored health system. And the first one said me, thank you very much for your form. We'll look at it. It might take about 6-7 months until we can get to you. So please be patient. and we apologize, and that's fair enough. The NHS saying, thank you for your form. We'll be able to look at your form hopefully soon. Here's our waiting list. And it was putting different lists. So ASD, 2 years, ADHD, 5 years.
Good. And then tell the ADHD person, please be patient. That helps.
And,
That's
yes.
How ironic is that?
And the thing as well, the number of hoops you have to jump through to get your assessment as well.
Exactly.
Goes again. Yeah. And so yeah, or you can go private, but it costs you about like £2,000, basically £2,000.
£2,000.
But it depends where you go, and even then, if you need to have your medication, if you need it, then you have to get that sorted out with them, and you may not be supported by the NHS. Because with us in the UK, you got your medication, you got a small fee to pay, but it's dirt cheap basically. But if you go private, you may have to pay privately for your medication as well, which would be
interesting. Okay, that's
also one thing there. So it's frustrating, and a lot of people are getting frustrated with that. And hopefully it can change soon. But that's a different story. We need a different system.
Yeah, that needs to get fixed immediately. Don't tell me to fucking be patient. People need help.
Yes.
That's
absolutely.
Why is this so hard for people to understand? People need help.
Yes, absolutely. But again, the only thing I will say is greed at high levels. And I'm going to leave it to that.
Okay, well, we'll stop it at that. Yeah, no, I get it. But
let's take care of politics right here.
But, that'll be the most we do on that topic.
But there's hope, and people are starting to complain. So hopefully it's get there. But in the meantime, yeah. So but even with my hypnotherapy, I see that a lot of people are struggling because I specialize with people suffering from anxiety issues, which covers everything, to be fair. So it's a very big specialty. So you smoke too much, anxiety. You eat too much, it's anxiety. So it's all related to that, basically, quite often. And I see an awful lot of people who are neurodivergent, whether it's ADHD, ASD, or combined, or other different type of letters, and they don't even know it themselves that they are neurodivergent.
Right.
And for a long time, I didn't realize it either because I didn't know the signs. And now I would say half the time I'm there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You may want to. You should look into that because I can't diagnose you. I can't tell you you've got ADHD. But sometimes I'm there. Come on. That's an obvious one. But I would say, yeah, half the people basically don't realize that. And they're coming to see me hoping I'll be able to help them feel a bit more relaxed, get rid of anxiety, and they can move on with their life. It's not going to be that easy unless you understand yourself properly. So please, I'm going to help you short term. I can help you feel better, feel all happy and everything. Short term, yes, I can do, and give you some tools to manage the symptoms. Yes, I can do that, absolutely. But it's not going to go away. It's going to come back if you carry on doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And unless you understand yourself, then it's going to be a problem. First thing again is, I'm sure there's something in the US as well. There's a lot of misunderstanding of what ASD and ADHD are.
There's a stigma attached to it.
There's stigma and misunderstanding. I think it's, but for me as well. For example, in my family, now looking back, it's everywhere basically.
Yeah.
But I think my late brother was hyperactive ADHD, big time. He was a kid at the back of the class, climbing on his chair, going under the desk.
Yep.
Luckily enough, at primary school, the teachers were understanding. He said, because he was pretty smart. So he's smart, he's listening, he's just let's put him at the back. He doesn't know bother anyone. So he was very lucky on that one.
Right.
Whereas I was a quiet one, give me a book. And I'd be gone for hours again, hyper-focused.
Right. No,
thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, so people think, yeah, he's a little boy who's running around and screaming his lungs out and everything. I wasn't that. I think the only thing as a kid that I should have been a giveaway was the speed of my speech, because I could speak, I can't anymore actually, funny enough, because I've trained myself out of it, but I could speak about 10 times faster than I do now. I was like, Eminem had nothing on me.
Right.
Except the elocution. So speaking very fast, and it, so few people could understand me, but because it had to come out fast. I
Right.
think my brain was, as you said, the Ferrari is saying. So that was, so basically I thought for a long time maybe I just have a speech impediment, and not just a French accent, just
Yeah.
the speed there. But it was just the main way my hyperactivity was manifesting itself at the time.
Right.
Well, I've got a lot of thoughts right now, and they're all gonna come out all at the same time and just fighting with each other on the way out. And people were like, "What is he saying?"
Yeah, exactly.
It's very interesting. And the funny thing as well at uni, I had, because we partnered up sometime for some projects and everything, and for 1 year I managed to find one guy who was just like me. That was interesting because we understood each other
Yeah.
almost half, because again we work the same way, same wavelengths and everything. And sometimes we're doing projects, so going to uni, going on the computers and everything. The face of other people, because we were like, talking to them, people were like, "What?
Yeah.
It was like, because it was like in late 90s, last
Fascinating.
century.
Yeah.
And basically it was like people, they were on dial-up and we were already on fiber 1 gig.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think when y'all two recognize each other and you're like, okay, hell yeah, okay, someone that understands me. What I don't think the vast majority of the world knows is that we are better at understanding them also. We are perceptive as shit when it comes to people, right? That's the so to me, that's a huge advantage in life.
And
It's the ability to read people.
Yeah.
The ability, I mean, that can get you so far.
But the main thing there as well is I always consider myself a bit of a chameleon in a way, socially speaking.
Right.
I think it's 20 years ago, I was more hippie, like hair down to hair. Yes, I had hair. I miss it.
I miss it.
But yes, basically, I can be speaking to people, hippies. I can speak to skinheads. I can speak to CEOs. I can speak to the bin man and everything, and I'm able to relate quickly. And that's because RSD means I don't want to be criticized. Therefore, you got 2 ways of going about it. One, you have to know everything about everything, so you have to be a know-it-all. And yeah, that's me.
I love it.
Or you basically, you try to do everything you can to fit in any kind of social group you meet.
Yeah.
And again, having the mirroring thing going on, and it's masking basically.
Yeah.
But the thing is very useful in therapy, because anyone coming therapy, going in my chair, I can relate to them so easily now because I got so much different thing. And again, I had, to give you an idea, on 3 nights in a row, because I mainly do hypnotherapy in the evenings. Right. One evening I had a junkie, crack cocaine. The next evening, same chair, I had a drug dealer who wanted to quit drug dealing and everything. And the next evening, I had someone who was working for counterterrorism.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Seriously.
Even met.
What are the odds of that? What are the odds of that back to back?
Exactly. And I was there. I can't make that. Well, I can't make a good backhand, but I was like, if only you knew, because oh, can I say anything I wanted? If you knew who was in that chair before. But again, I'm here to help them. I'm not here to judge them, because I'm not either. And as long as they don't kill anyone,
all good, right? Kind of should be really okay with that.
Well, it depends who. But I think they come to me with meaning to get better and get out of it. So of course I'm going to help them. It's become that productive to say, "Oh, hello, the cops! I've got someone in my chair. He's doing drugs." It's not going to help anyone. So
100%.
So basically, I've got people like that. I've had people for like CEOs for big companies, and I had some work from mothers, single mothers, trying to do the best, and you got everything in between.
You have every walk of life.
Yeah.
And you're able to help every walk of life. this is firmly what I believe ADHD people do so well.
Yeah. And the thing as well is it doesn't matter what walk of life you're in, you're not immune to anxiety, not immune to depression,
No,
you're not immune to autism, you're not immune to ADHD, because there's so many famous people, creative people, successful people who have ADHD, autism, and everything.
right.
So, but look at all the different actors,
Oh
artists,
gosh, yes. Gosh, yes.
scientists. But I think talking back to IT,
Yeah.
I think you've got half the IT population is autistic because they can go down the rabbit hole and they know everything. They can set up your whole system, and they kind of like geniuses on that. The other half is the people who actually innovate, who are the ADHD people, and you got a mix of the two. And for a long time, I assumed I was one of the few normal one in that field.
No.
I was a fool. Oh well, I still am, I'm sure, somehow.
What I'm getting from you is actually incredible. Is what I think you have a self-awareness that is insanely accurate.
Oh,
As
thank you.
but that will serve you so well in the future. It's like now that you know how your brain works, that's all it is. I make a joke, but it takes an ADHD brain to figure out an ADHD brain. Like that's literally.
That's absolutely the thing. Is the main thing is understanding everything, and the funny thing as well. I've always been a why kid, not the why, not the annoying ones. I think those ones, nah. But ever since I was a kid, it was someone saying me, "Can you please do that?" Why? Just because. What's the point of doing it?
Exactly.
The point is satisfactory. I'll do it. If not, and I'm very glad because in France and for quite a long time you have the military service,
right?
And I was among the last few years of having to do it, and I've escaped it. Thanks, actually, in a way, thanks to my nervous breakdown beforehand. So that served me well. I managed to reuse that to escape the 1 year or 10 months or whatever it was of going to the army, because me in the army, being told what to do,
not going to happen
whatsoever.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. So, but basically, you'd make a phenomenal general, but you're not going to make a good entry level. See, that's the whole thing.
Absolutely.
So, fucking promote us to the top spot, and we will care and dog it to death until it works. We'll figure it out.
We're not grunts. Our thing is we can't just go through the routine of doing things day in, day out. Some people are doing it perfectly happy with that, and that's great. That's great for them. Right. It's their super skill, and they can go through those things. They can go through the routine, and we need people like that too.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But some people like us just can't, and that's the thing. So,
I can't for the life of me do that shit.
Yeah. And of course, you need rules, you need a structure, you need authority, even though I'm not good at that. So I respect that.
Right.
But there need to be reason for it. So maybe because I'm French, maybe I know that rules can be bent. I don't know.
But the rules will work out better if we create them for ourselves, because we can actually create a structure that helps us up here.
And rules that make sense.
Right. But we have the ability to do that. It's fascinating. It's so amazing to me. I'm sorry, I get really pumped up about this because like it's so fun to talk to someone else like this that understands.
But I think, for example, so when I met my wife, I moved in because her flat was so much nicer than mine anyway. And so basically, she got all this. They seem to be done that way. So the autism side of her. Like this. Obviously, there's one side of her is that, the other side of her is the ADHD chaos monkey in her brain, which means that every 6 months she needs to rearrange the whole living room anyway. So it's kind of a fight between the two. But her autism is keeping my chaos monkey in check, which is great. But one thing at some point she was saying, but are you annoyed that I've got all these rules and ways of doing it, and you never say anything about it? I said, well, no, because your rules. There's many ways of doing it. Your rules make sense, so I'm happy with that, and it makes you happy, so why would I change it? If you had a stupid rule that was totally pointless, I will tell you. But the thing, all the rules they make sense. So, sure, there's a logic behind it, and I'm happy with that. I can do logic perfectly well. I love that. But if
Isn't that
it's
funny? Isn't that funny? Because I thought we were the ones that couldn't do logic. We are actually the most logical people when it comes to the big picture on things because we go directly to the point.
Yeah, pattern recognition, logic, and seeing that all things work all together. And some people are just stuck looking at the little things. So yeah, that's the problem. Is that people are too busy looking at the tree. They consider the whole forest basically. That's the whole.
Oh wow, I love that.
So that's
I love that.
but on the other hand,
you're right.
yes, we're good at that. But for example, when I do IT project, yeah, I can start getting in place, but then you got to finish with all the little things and all the niggly little bit, and all
right.
And that is a drag.
Tedious
and it gets done
shit.
eventually, but then you make stupid mistakes. Therefore, so yeah, that's where
it's a give. It's a give and take.
That's where we drop the ball a bit, and that's fine. But I think we do compensate quite nicely. And I've worked with some company for 20 years, so they must be happy with me.
Right. Wait, you've worked for the same company for 20 years?
I know. It's weird, isn't it?
You're the only person that I have met besides myself that is the exact same way.
But there's a reason for it, though, looking back. It's a small company, so about 10 of us-ish. I am the IT department, therefore I do everything. Therefore, right. I juggle things right from the center. I'm in charge of the programming. I'm in charge of the computers. I'm in charge of the websites. I'm doing this, that. So I've got a lot of something on the go.
Jumping.
I don't get bored.
Right.
And only now we've grown enough that now I need to delegate, and some people are doing stuff for me, and it's annoying because they're slow to respond to anything I want.
Oh my God, that's my number one rule. My number one rule: speed of response. If you send a text message, do not wait 5 minutes to tell me that something is fucking up at this event. You need to tell me immediately what is going on so that I can help.
Yeah, but so that's all I got frustration basically is because it's appearing on people who are reliable, maybe, but dreadfully slow.
You might be my brother in another life. I literally, it's possible. It's very possible. But my thing to all of this, though, is the things that we are not good at don't ultimately mean shit. But what we're great at matters.
Yes. I think the thing is, yeah.
And people will disagree with that. Yes.
Absolutely. But the thing is, yeah, we're not good at being normal.
Right.
And that annoys the majority of people who want us to be normal, want us to mask, and want us to force doing things their way. And whether it's with autism or ADHD. But just imagine for 1 second, we try to make them behave like us.
Right.
So either you try to get them to be more autistic or get them to be more ADHD. They wouldn't cope.
Right.
Couldn't.
Yeah. And who has changed the world that was normal? I would love that stat. Has there been a normal person that's changed the world? Like just a normal, basic, no, no issues upstairs. They're not crazy. That all this.
Take any big figure, and they're gonna have something weird about them.
Exactly.
No matter who.
Exactly.
Normal is boring.
It is.
Normal is weird as far as I'm concerned. And
I just don't understand it. I don't understand what normal is.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, and as I said before, like the young girl who once told me in my office, because she was struggling, I just wish I could be normal, and I know what she meant. She meant, I wish I didn't have to struggle. That's what she meant.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, so that don't be normal, be awesome, be yourself. You're fantastic. You're awesome. You see things differently. And she was like, and because I was the first one who kind of. Well, I was a cheerleader basically for
yes.
And I was cheering and I said, you've got things to give you all the things there. And yes, you're different. Yes, you're not normal. And that's fantastic. Embrace it. And she was like, I thought she might be a bit scared. I think she was with her mother. I think she was feeling. I said one of her parents was there anyway, for my own safety and lawsuit and stuff like that.
But you gave her a jolt of momentum.
Yeah,
You gave her some momentum.
Yeah, but she didn't expect from a therapist. I think she expected me to tell her, okay, I'm going to help you be normal.
Right.
And I think it's with ADHD, it's not much. I think with autism, there's ABA, which is a big controversial things, which are a bore personally. Let's make you more normal. Let's teach you to mask properly. And people doing that don't realize how masking is so bloody exhausting. It's mentally draining.
It's painful.
It is painful. Yeah, absolutely.
It's physically painful to do it.
And
I think.
Absolutely. And the thing for me now, I think now I've realized what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. As I said, I'm lucky that I'm quite able to do my level of I was about to say needs, not quite the right word, but I can quite easily go up and mix in, and it doesn't take too much as long as everything is fine. So day-to-day things, I'm perfectly cool, and I can almost act normal, almost. Also, people always remember me. I don't know why.
Because you're fun to talk to. That's not masking. That's just being you.
Yeah, but that's something. Yeah, but that's something. Now I've realized what I'm doing and how I am. Because from hypnosis and doing counseling and having done therapy for myself as well. When I had my nervous breakdowns, I had to understand myself better.
Right.
So all of that, basically, as you help people, you kind of look back on yourself as well. You have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And also as well with, again, my wife, my stepson doing like that. And also as well because neurodivergent tend to attract each other. You think in a normal world, yes, your world is normal, but it's a world of neurodivergence. So everybody around you is weird. Fantastic. But the thing is, yes. Now, funny you said that, because now I've been starting to think about, because in hypnosis you want to have a niche and you want to specialize in things.
Right.
And the one thing that I always do, or not in, well, intentionally yes, but not forcing it, is therapy can be fun. People come and see me for dreadful conditions. It's gonna sound weird, but my favorite clients, people who really struggle massively, and there's quite often women who come to see me because they survived domestic violence. So that's something close to my heart for many reasons. And what they've gone through is absolutely dreadful. You got the PTSD and everything. I think the bruises heal, but the mental thing stays for a long time.
Correct.
And a lot of therapy, it's about, okay, so tell me everything that went wrong. List everything that is bad in your life from childhood till now. Tell me every details, all the things that are horrible and everything. And after 5, 6, 10 sessions of doing and just stirring the shit, and how does it make you feel? Well, I know the answer. You feel like shit.
Oh my God.
My goal.
Thank you.
Well, CBT is one, for example, and CBT can work for some conditions, not all. But now it's been, everybody has to do CBT. No, it doesn't fit everybody. Exactly. If you have PTSD, CBT is not the right thing for you at all. It might make things worse, but that's a different story. My goal, when I see someone for the first session, it's like about an hour and a half. My goal at the end is for that lady to leave my office and to laugh her head off at the mention of the abuser's name.
Thank you.
That's my game.
Thank you. That's it. Every time that's the fucking cure.
It takes the power away. They free themselves. They get rid of all the shit. They get rid of all the emotional linkage, all the hurt. They feel better about themselves. And the pathetic person, to remain polite.
The way you said that.
Because a lot of them, basically, just mentioning the name of the abuser, they recoil, and you can see them going back to victim mode. No, I'm not having that. I'm gonna have you in a fun way, in an enjoyable way.
Yeah.
you're gonna see that person for the piece of shit they are.
Yeah.
And mentioning their name will make you laugh at their face. And that's getting the power back. And that's what I
It
love.
absolutely is. It's
And
the
it's the same thing for any kind of anxiety, PTSD, and everything. My job is to, I'm using one of my go-to techniques. If you ever see any kind of my video on TikTok, my go-to, if I did do demonstration for people, get them into hypnosis, make them something and make them smile straight away. People find something, and I just amp it up. People, it's a great feeling, fun. I think the power, the
oh my God, I am
feeling of smiliness.
so happy to have met you.
Yeah, and it's something which is so simple. I think one of my hypno teachers say, for hypnosis, if you get an emotion, you can then plant a suggestion.
Wow.
What best emotion than smiling or feeling of love and just happiness? And people struggle with summing that up, and for them, I've got to work a bit deeper.
Right.
Fair enough. But 99% of people, as they open theirs, they're like, you think that they had a big fat spliff and half a bottle of wine, like, that was weird. I said, yep.
Yeah, it's weird for some people to have fun. It's weird to have fun for some people, but for someone like me, I guess I just want to radiate that so that someone else might pick up a little bit of it. And if it's just a little bit, that can mean the difference in life and death mentally.
It does, because the thing is, again, for a long time, I was in a bad place, and
right,
not realizing it, because again, it's like the old analogy of the, not because I'm French, but the frog in boiling water, and you just increase the temperature. Although technically that wouldn't be true, but again,
that's just science. Whatever.
It's not like science gets in the way of a good analogy.
Exactly.
And so I was there in the bad place for a very long time, kind of grinding me down slowly. And I was Mr. Grumpy, basically. It didn't take much for me to be grumpy. And again, I said, I'm a big guy, so I can be intimidating if I'm in a bad mood. And I was like that for years. And yeah, never again, basically, never again. And so yeah, and again, I'm lucky, but I've married a stand-up comedian, so it does help a lot as well. So that's good.
That's fucking fantastic. I want to jump right into the honestly the last thing I want to ask you because it just flows well. What are you most proud of? Now, here's the question. See, okay, now here's the question. It cannot be someone else. I'm proud of my spouse or my girlfriend or my son or whatnot. It's got to be a characteristic within yourself that you are most proud of.
Oh,
I think you just described it.
My long flowing hair. A mane. And but the thing is this, making people feel happy and laugh. I think that's something which now I'm actively using. I will not, again, like my wife or people I know, go on stage and do stand-up, because that's not me.
Right.
I'm not the guy who's at front of the stage. That's not my style. I'm the helper. That's my nature. And looking back, I've always
love that.
In IT, I'm the guy who makes things work. In therapy, I'm the guy who makes it, because people come and see me, for example, I'm not here and I'm going to tell you, and you're fixed. It's not that. And one of my friends has got a great say to describe that, the process. As a therapist, I am the Merlin to your Arthur. I'm going to give you your Excalibur, your potion, your spells. You're going to go and slay your own freaking dragons, because I'm not doing it for you. But you doing it, you can take the credits and you can move on feeling better and empowered for that. That's my skill set. That's what I do. And that's what I've been raised basically by my mum. And she talked to me about, we were talking about that a few months ago. And it's something that even as a 10, 12-year-old, someone asks for help. Yeah, sure. Okay. What do you need? And that's my temperament. That's what I do anyway.
Same with this.
Which can backfire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a flip side to it. You can take
absolutely
granted. And yeah, it's not always all lovely.
No, it's not. No, it isn't.
And be careful. You've got to have boundaries, which I've learned the hard way. But that's something else. So yeah. But I often say to my wife, we do the same job. Our thing is, but stand-up is an aside thing, just like my stand-up is an aside anyway.
Right.
But she goes on stage, and for when she does a 10-minute set, or when she organizes all evening on festivals and stuff like that, what she does, she makes people feel happy. For when people come to see a comedy show for 1 hour, 2 hours, they go in there, they have a bloody good laugh. They got all the endorphin flowing, they feel great, they forget all the shit that happened outside, and they feel great about it. And that can make a big difference, as I said, for anyone. And
Absolutely.
I do this in therapy, and I also do the same thing in martial arts as well. And that's a big thing people forget about.
Global's Spark has started a fundraising effort for Crisis Text Line. We have a goal of $19 per episode, as $19 supports just one person in their time of crisis with their mental health. If you would like to donate through our fundraiser titled Warren's Infinity, the link is listed in the episode's description. Lauren was my wife's best friend and loved by all who came into contact with her.
Because I stopped running my own club a year ago because of COVID. So, but I've run a club for about 13 years, and a lot of people come to martial arts. Some people because they're interested in I want to be like Bruce Lee. But some people, they come to see you because they lack confidence or they've got issues and they're hoping that the martial art will help them. And I've always made a point, to make the sessions fun, because if it's not fun, why the hell are you doing it? And again, as you say, disciplinarian shouting at people is not my style. I don't do it that way.
Right.
I like play. I like fun. People and they don't mind putting more effort. But I think as well, I've always made sure every beginners in my club, I will do a I was called a taster session with them to show them what Aikido is about. And but that's because 15 years ago, so before I started my own club, I had someone coming to see us, and a guy was feeling a bit like that, not too happy about the COVID, but I was like, oh yeah, sure, coming in. I said, oh yeah, coming to see, can I want to do something. No, come along, come in, fine. I said, oh yeah, it's time to say, which was it at the time. Yeah, but I'm not sure if I'm the right guy. I'm not sure if I've got the right character for this. I said, well, mate, I don't care who you are. Do you want to hear enough fun? I can show you a few things. If you're interested in what we do, let's come and see what happened on the mat. And let's play. If you like it, great. If you don't like it, you can just go home. I'm not forcing anyone. And you go say, okay. And he trained with us for a couple of years. And he told me later on, about a year later after that night, that was his last attempt.
Unbelievable.
And I was like,
that's unbelievable. See, that's why we do what we do.
Yeah,
that is why we do what we do.
People, be nice to everybody you meet.
Thank you.
Because things, I was oblivious to it, but
right,
and that kind of put pressure on me on one of my own club. But in a way, it's just a power you have, because if I'd been there, who are you? You're good enough. Or if I've been an ass, or if I've been trying to show off, I'm better than you, whatever. And some clubs are like that. He would have said, "So that," and he wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So, and that made me realize at the time, it was way before I did therapy and stuff like that, way before I even thought of doing that. But as a coach, my job was to help people progress and get better. Which again, that's why am I doing therapy? I wonder. Yeah, the thing was, if I rewind properly, you've got power on people, and people come and see you, and if you're nice to them, just a small kindness every now and then can make a life-changing, literally, difference in people's mind.
Exactly.
People underestimate that. Be nice. It doesn't cost anything.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we're talking about the seminar I went to yesterday, run by a friend of mine, and they have one rule: don't be a dick.
Okay, can that just be the one rule for the world? Like, like we have a global law, and if you are, you're gonna be fucking put in prison. I'm sorry, like, just don't be a dick. Like, that's
pay the price for it.
And now, but the thing is, sometimes I can be I can be an asshole, and it's my impulse.
But that's not the same. It's not quite the same as being a dick.
Yeah, my heart's in the right place, but sometimes my mouth isn't when I get to, Yeah. But I will say, at the very end of this, is when you die, what do you want your tombstone to say?
Now, that's very interesting to say that for two reasons, because that was what guided me after my nervous breakdown. So what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah.
That's the first thing there. The second thing, I've lost my brother a year ago, and luckily enough,
I'm sorry, by the way.
Okay, he was only 50, but
Unbelievable.
Being the ADHD hyperactive as he was, fun-loving, he was always saying, I think sometimes he could lose his temper, but he was the guy you would like to meet, the guy you want on your side all the time, and he was my role model big time.
Right.
But the one thing he lived by is, I'm not gonna wait for retirement to enjoy my life.
Thank you.
But he did everything he could, and I'm so fucking glad he did that, because
Awesome.
if he'd waited, he would have wasted his life. So the two things there is
100%.
Don't wait, or maybe one day. And yet it's good to have plans. Sure, have plans, but don't sacrifice your whole life for a potential plan 20 years ago, and just go through the grind now for no reason. You need to enjoy yourself every single day. I think there's a song, "Enjoy yourself is better than you think."
Right.
And for me, that I think is everything I do, I want to make sure at least I'm having fun. And of course, stuff you have to, yeah, sure. But if I'm not enjoying myself in my job, if I'm not enjoying myself in my therapy, if I'm not enjoying myself at home with my wife and having a laugh every now and then what am I doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, exactly. If you live in the moment, you will build momentum in your life. Momentum. This seems obvious to me.
Yes, absolutely. And again, and success means different things for different people. Some people want to be rich, have big cars, and have big houses. Good for them.
Right.
I know people like that, and I know some of them are happy, and they live a very easy life, and they put the work in. So good for them. Absolutely. Right. I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I think is. Can always do with more, of course you can, but I know the rule of enough. I've got enough for that, and yeah, I can have a bit more fun. But also know people who they're so obsessed about. I need to have the latest, and they live in up to here with debts. They're slave to their work. They can't do anything, and they're miserable.
Yeah.
So I've got someone I know.
Absolutely.
I've got a few kind of. Got a few properties and everything, and he's just grumpy as hell. He's not happy with it. So again, what is he missing? I don't know. Well, I've got an idea, but it's for him to work it out. But yeah, I think it's you've got to know when you got enough, and what do you want enough? What's your mission in life, and what does success and happiness means to you? Because it's not necessarily related.
And I think ADHD people, I do firmly believe this, ADHD and neurodivergence across the board, what makes them happy is helping others.
Helping others, exploring, being curious, having fun. One of my very good friends was my best man at my wedding. He's, again, typical ADHD guy. Like me, he did martial arts. He's then, after that, age 40 and a bit, he started to do ballet. Because he brought his kids for ballet. I said, that looks like fun. And I said, we got out of question. I said, oh, sure, goody, let's do it. He started gymnastic. He's then later on started to do jewelry. Now even starting to sewing to do underwear. Because his wife was complaining about it's not fitting properly. He said, how hard can it be? I'm going to do it. And actually, he did a good job of it. And again, we're chatting about that actually 2 weeks ago. And for him, I want to discover things. I want to explore things and have fun things. And there's so many things to learn and explore. And why do you want to stay at home and just watch TV day in day out? And I do watch TV, of course I do. But you need some curiosity. And
we're the epic story of the underdog that proved everyone wrong.
Yeah.
And then built something that was so meaningful to people. I mean, look at what you do. That's, you help people every day.
Yes, and I think it's.
And I'm not saying it's a superpower, but I'm saying fucking you're Superman to me if you can do that. Because it's hard work. It's hard work.
Yeah, it's hard work, but I think it doesn't have to be hard work. I find it fun. That's the difference.
But fun can be hard too. It can be. It can be.
It can be.
To me, I'm in sports. This is my sports personality coming out now. I'm like, I love the fucking grind, the underdog, all that. It's like, oh, pain, no gain, all that bullshit. So I'm gonna edit that.
No pain. Hey, no pain.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit all that out.
But I don't like to be punched.
Sometimes I'm like, just hit me, just hit me. But no, I feel I started this podcast because my wife's best friend took her own life 3 years ago. She was severely ADHD. And I think at the end of the day, what would have helped her the most is laughing, smiling, having people, camaraderie, all of those things to say, like, we're not going to give up on you.
Connections.
Connections, which is why every single Friday, anyone that has been on this podcast in the past, if they want to, we just show up and shoot the shit for an hour. It's fucking hilarious. It's so fun. Everyone's interrupting each other, and it's people get. But
the thing, yeah, you need connections. If you're on your own, you're gonna wither and die. Basically, unfortunately, that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
We need connection. We need stimulation. I think that's the characteristic. The thing as well is about laughter. The one thing I love about the French version of ADHD, the acronym is trouble de l'attention avec ou sans hyperactivité, I think. So, but it spells TDAH.
Oh my god!
It's brilliant.
Okay, that's it. You can't say anything else. That was the greatest thing of all time.
And I love that. It's so joyful.
I am so using that. I'm copywriting it. I'm using that every single time. You're gonna have to teach me how to speak French. That's wow. God, Christophe, I did not expect You're fucking amazing, man.
Oh, thank you, sir.
This has been.
But you've produced some stuff as well. I think doing what you do as well with such consistency as well, I think is well done.
As consistent as I try to be.
ADHD as well. It's a problem. I know.
It is.
But seriously, yes. I think what you're doing there, what you're putting out there, I think is needed, and we need more. So I'm glad I could contribute a bit there.
Absolutely.
Keep doing it. I'm telling you.
You're goddamn right. I can. Thank you. I needed that today. Okay. So, will you email me all your social media stuff, because I didn't know you were on TikTok or anything like that. So I want to list.
Although I've let that slide a bit lately, TikTok, because again, consistency. What that?
Well, I just want to be able to.
I'm everywhere. I'm YouTube, TikTok, not MySpace anymore.
What is your is this what social media people do? It's a handle. Is that what it's called? I don't even know what it's.
All the youth. Well. The thing is, well, basically,
do you even want that listed in the description?
But my website, is the simplest thing, is Folkestone hypnotherapy.co.uk, and from there you can find everything else. I'll send you the details so you can put it
okay. Here. I'm very bad at spelling, so
because I'm in Folkestone, which is a town on the coast in the UK near Dover. And so when I walk my dog, I can see France over the channel, which is great.
I love it. I just want to be able to promote you in any way I can, because you're putting out amazing shit into the world. You're saving people's lives.
Yeah.
I mean,
and the thing as well, just one thing, whilst I'm here, shameless plug. I do stuff online as well, so you don't have to be local to contact me.
Awesome.
Because as you can see, we can do stuff from them perfectly fine. I think you
absolutely.
million miles away from me, and we can have a
Right.
perfect good chance. It works just the same.
That's the good thing of technology.
Whether you're 6 feet away or 6,000 miles, I don't care. To be fair, where you are,
Love it.
I think we can help each other, or we can
I love
do
it.
stuff. So.
Christophe, thank you.
But you're very welcome, and it was great fun. Actually, I didn't know what to expect. So yeah, I'm enjoying myself.
Hey, look, I will talk to anyone at any time about any mental health, because it's just, I feel what you feel in terms of like, give them a laugh, pump them up a little bit. I mean, god damn, like, why are we shitting on people? Jesus, your rule, don't be a dick. Global.
Don't be a dick, and if you're not enjoying it, why the hell are you doing it?
You literally just, I think, solved all of world peace. Don't be a dick is a global law. That's it.